Go to 64 here. Today I'm having a look at how you can construct the newest ship, the Epheria Frigate, in Black Desert Online. Constructing the frigate is a big project that requires a lot of materials. In total you will need 800 jade coral ingots, 1600 pine-coated plywood, 1000 standardized timber squares, 450 enhanced flax fabric, and 25 Epheria Frigate designs. The most difficult material to obtain are the jade coral ingots, so let's have a look at those first. In order to gather the coral pieces that you need for the jade coral ingots, you need to go and gather them underwater in the ocean. A good place to do that is between the two islands, Besa Islands and Modric Island. So this area right here is the closest area to Epheria where you can find coral. There are also many other places, like over at Port Rat, way over here, is a quite good area, but it's a long way to go. So if you want to stay close to the mainland, this area is quite good. Since you need to go underwater, it's a big advantage if you have the Pearl Shock diving costume, as this allows you to breathe underwater for 30 seconds extra. You can also gain another 30 seconds by wearing a pair of boots that has underwater breathing crystals in them. And finally, you can use the Agile Seal Elixir to get another 15 seconds. It only lasts for 8 minutes, but it gives you a little extra if you need it. Obviously, you also want high gathering speed, so it's a good idea to use a Balinose meal if you don't have high gathering speed from something else. And of course, you should equip a good tool. A magic hoe is the best tool for gathering coral. And finally, if you have a hedgehog, then of course you should make sure that you have that out so you get the extra materials from that. So once you have your buffs going, it's just a matter of jumping in and diving into the ocean. So you can gather coral pieces from any type of coral. So for instance, these are rainbow corals, and there are also some red corals in this area. And you can also gather them from the sea fans. So this is a sea fan, and that also gives you coral pieces. It's a very slow process to gather coral, so if you can buy some coral on the market to supplement what you gather yourself, then that's a big advantage. Once you have a good number of coral pieces, you can start processing it into jade coral ingots. Apart from the coral pieces, you also need gems. Although the official guide says to use emerald, you can actually use any type of gem. So I will be using rubies. You need both regular gems and resplendent gems, and they need to be of the same color. So we'll be making red coral, and then we combine red coral with resplendent rubies. Finally, you need melted titanium shards. Titanium is not too hard to get on the market, so I suggest you try and buy as much as possible. Apart from that, it can also be gathered from nodes in Valencia, over here in the Bashim area, and also here in the southern part of Valencia below the desert. Once you have all the needed materials, you need to heat. First you need 10 coral pieces and 1 gem, and this will produce coral. So we get red coral pieces from this. Now we have 15 coral pieces. So the next step is to heat those together with resplendent gems. And this gem has to be the same color as the coral. So you need 3 corals for 1 resplendent gem. So now we have 5 pieces of twilight red coral. So again we do heating and we combine these with 25 pieces of melted titanium shards. And this gave us 5 jade coral ingots. The next material that you need are standardized timber squares. These are made by processing logs, and just as with coral pieces, the only way to get logs is to gather them manually from trees or by buying them on the market. And since you also need pine timber to make the pine-coated plywood, I would suggest that you focus on gathering pine. A good place to do that is over here by Florin, where this area has a lot of pine trees. Once you have the logs, you just chop them into usable scantling and then chop the usable scantling into standardized timber squares. For the pine, you also need to chop the pine timber into pine planks and then chop the pine planks into pine plywood. In order to get the pine-coated plywood, you then need to combine the pine plywood with coconuts. And coconuts you can get only by NPC workers. So there's one node over here that has coconuts in Areha Palm Forest, which is next to Arehase. So there are 2 nodes here that will give you coconuts. Once you have both pine plywood and coconut, you need to process those by heating them. And you need 5 pine plywood for 50 coconut. And this will give you a number of pine-coated plywood. Finally, you need enhanced flax fabric. And you make this from shining powder and flax fabric. To make flax fabric, you can have NPC workers gather flax from the nodes below Heidel. So there's one at Costa Farm and there's one at Moretti Plantation. And then you grind that flax into flax thread and then grind the flax thread into flax fabric. Alternatively, you can simply buy the flax fabric on the market. There's plenty available and it's usually at minimum price. Once you have both of these materials, you need to do grinding, and note that you need grinding skilled to be able to make the enhanced flax fabric. If you don't have grinding skilled, then look at your Black Spirit guide section to see how to get it. But then you just combine the shining powder and the flax fabric. And the shining powder is a byproduct of alchemy, so that means you need to do alchemy in order to get this. And I believe you only get it from alchemy recipes that are at least at apprentice level. As far as I know, the beginner recipes do not give any shining powder. So now we have some enhanced flax fabric. An alternative way of getting the pine-coated plywood and the enhanced flax fabric is to do a series of daily quests in Grana. There are 6 quests in total, and they give you 3 pieces of material each, so a total of 18 available per day. The first quest starts here at the stable manager outside of Grana. This is a simple quest where you just need to pick up a crate of carrots and bring it back to him. For the next quest, we need to go up to the library, and we'll get a quest here to bring back an overdue library book, because obviously that's what immortal heroes do all day, is bring back overdue library books. So we need to talk to this guy and bring him back to the library. And that was that. For the next quest, we go over here, pick up one quest, and there's another one right up here. For the first quest, we need to make some purified water. So we'll go down here by the water, and we can buy a empty bottle from the material vendor. And gather some water. Then we need to filter it. And we return the purified water. For the second quest, we need to go down here and kill some boars. And that was that. So back again. For the next quest, we'll need to go down here. And then we need to get a flute from this woman. And you need 1 contribution, so make sure you have 1 contribution available. Then equip the flute and play a bit of music for 20 seconds. And we're done. So you can return the flute. And then pick up one more quest from her. And this is the only quest that can be a little bit annoying, but of the 3 locations you're given on the map, you need to go to this one. And we'll take a shortcut here. Now notice that the location marker is out here, but the place you actually need to go is right here, and talk to the musical spirit. And then it's just back and turn in these 2 quests, and then you're done, and you'll have your 18 pieces of material for this day. To get the frigate ship designs, you need to go up here in Epheria, where you'll find the NPC Filiberto. It gives you a quest, and completing that quest will get you a frigate ship design. This is exactly the same daily quest that you had to do for the Epheria Sailboat. So all you have to do is pick up one of these boxes and take it down to the wharf. And you have to do this twice. After you transport 2 crates to the wharf, you can complete the quest. And here it's of course important that you remember to select the Epheria Frigate design when you're trying to build the frigate. And then you just complete the quest. And you'll need to do this daily quest 25 times to get the number of frigate designs that you need. Once you have collected at least some of the materials for the frigate, you can start building the ship. The only place where you can build the Epheria Frigate is here in Port Epheria 3.5. Here you'll find a level 3 shipyard. To build the Epheria Frigate, you need to complete 3,875 build steps. So this is going to take some time, and therefore you may as well start as early as possible. There's no reason to collect all the materials first. As long as you have some of the materials, you can get started. And remember that it's possible to have multiple workers working on the same material. So for instance, I can assign a couple of workers to work on the jade coral ingots here. So now I have 2 workers working on completing this material. That should be all you need to know to build the Epheria Frigate. Once you complete all the build steps, you'll have your Epheria Frigate ship license. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for watching.